All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you guys have watched our streams recently, you've heard Kyle discussing Roaring Thunder Pursuit's recent Jack video, and well, he has something to say about it, but I haven't seen it at all because personally, I think Jack is just underrepresented in the power scaling community because there are down players like Kyle here who think some crazy things about him. He's only like less than planet level, even fucking crazy.
You give me far too much credit for this series. His video alone, I've only seen a minute and 25, and then I got the shits and turned it off because it was so full of bullshit and trying to take as much as it could from nothing.
Don't listen to Kyle. He's a ratchet power scaler. He doesn't know what it's about. But see, go.
And for every time I said something stupid, I wouldn't be able to get through the 5 minute video.
So we're gonna check it out. As far I don't know this guy in person or anything like that. Check out the original video if you like what you hear. He does have a few other Jack videos that we might react to in the future. Definitely want to look at his death battle one later just to see what he says. And, it's fun to react to content every now and again. Nice easy thing here. But so let's get into it because I've heard some fantastic things about this video.
RT Peoples, I am back with a brand new video, and in today's video I'm going to be rescaling Jack on just how fast and how powerful he really is.
Okay, so this is just AP and speed then? You said you got a minute into this?
I got a minute 25 into it.
You got a lot to say for a minute and 25. Alright, let's get to it.
With higher end arguments. I've already made a previous video going over his weapons and abilities, so be sure to check that out.
Dog shit. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you telling me the other video?
In my subjective opinion, it is dog shit. In my subjective opinion,
the 30-minute video or this one?
The 30-minute video. If he ends up seeing this one, Roaring Thunder Pursuit, Zimmercorn is just hosting this. If you want to pick a fight with anyone, pick a fight with Balrog Blaze.
You do have your own YouTube channel now. Technically, that is true. I personally prefer Jack scaling higher, so when Kyle told me there was some arguments for higher level Jack scaling, I was very excited to come check this out. He disagrees with everything that was being said, but I'm curious to see what the evidence is. Bring a more neutral perspective in here. Neutral.
So with all that being said, let's begin. Jack demonstrates that he has infinite speed because he scales.
Okay, hang on. The precursors use giant robots shielded from Dark Eagle and powered by.
No, the one he's talking about is in the bottom right hand corner.
All right, let me read this. Ramjet rocket shoes capable of propelling the robot across a planet or across the universe.
Okay, so I've already got a problem with that if that's what he's asserting, because he's going to assert that that's infinite speed, and the problem with that is basically the shoes being able to propel them interplanetary. That's fine. I don't really care about that. The problem is that he's asserting something without a time frame. So it can pull across a universe, that's fine, but we don't have a time frame. And from what we know of the precursors, this could have took millenniums, if not like hundreds of thousands of years. Because they just go around and populate planets.
Well, we can at least assume it's faster than light, right? Because there's already light speed for Jack. I'm assuming this will be faster.
The problem is because you don't have a time frame. You can say it's faster than light, but you don't have a reference to how fast into that you get.
Is this?
So, what I would use instead is it would be easier just to say that Jack's like I already have Jack faster than light, but I have him faster than light because you have actual metalheads that can fire their own lasers, and I'm not talking about the fucking guns. Guns are not lasers.
Honestly, with the way the bullets look in Jack, it's really hard to tell the difference. Okay. So, yeah, unfortunately, I thought it was going to be MFTL, but let's see what he said. Oh, no, they his.
Above precursor robots that can travel across universal distances within moments.
Within moments?
In moments.
Oh.
He's asserting something where there's no evidence, by the way.
Okay, so hang on a minute. That's in Jack 1, right? That precursor robot? I think I remember you fighting it, right?
No, it's in Jack 1. It's also in Jack 3.
Wasn't there a precursor robot in Jack 2 that you fight underground?
No. There's the head of one that grants you dark.
No, yeah, it's the third one, right? Where the guy resurrects the robot with the fucking the cane.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And you're talking about
Yeah. Hang on. Let me read the description. Okay, so again, propelling across the universe is great, but Kyle is ultimately right. There is no time frame, especially unless this provides the context. Let me see. Jack,
it does not.
This time, before to actually give it some lip, the Oracle welcomes Jack into the sacred chamber. Goes on explaining in the past scene tests of manhood. Jack has proven himself worthy of receiving Mars' legacy. And with that he is about to receive comes great power and great responsibility. He continues to speak of the precursors, his story where aeons ago the precursors waged a war against Horaquan. I can't pronounce that. The dark creatures now called Metalheads, driven by their dark leader, the Metalhead legions destroy the precursor civilization. Now they swarm the universe unopposed, looking for the last relics of the precursor power. Marha attempted to hide the precursor stone inside this tomb. It is the precursor's last hope, and Jack was chosen to keep that alive. As Jack and Daxter would tool the stone, the Baron appears inside his new mech creation, the Spider Mech.
Okay, so before you continue that's in reference to the mission. You know when you unlock Mars' tomb and you basically have to do the 3 trials,
Yeah.
and then you fight back Nexus?
Yeah, that's
one. What it's in reference to.
That's where he shows...
But the thing he's going to assert is that the Metalheads, because they can also cross the universe, that should be able to give him infinite speed as well. But as I established last night, and I'm still going to establish this now, well, it is true. The biggest problem, again, we don't know how long it took them, and because of the start of Jack 2, we can literally just assume that they traveled via portals.
Well, they travel via ships too, right? Like, the Metalheads don't just move across the universe themselves.
We don't know how the Metalheads move. We know the Dark Makers move via ships.
Right, I'm thinking of the Dark Makers. You're right.
He also...
Aren't the Dark Makers stronger? Like, lore-wise, aren't the Dark Makers stronger than the Metalheads?
Was there something in a guidebook? We don't... different species, but not really.
Alright, well, we'll keep that in mind for now.
They're just precursors that have just been corrupted with fucking Dark Age. That's all they are.
Moving across universal distance in moments is not infinite speed. At best, that's like one of the highest MFTL feats you can get, but that's not infinite speed.
But the problem is he's asserting in moments, but when you go back to his evidence for moments, all it says is that they go across the universe. It doesn't say in moments.
Within moments.
Yeah, the within moments thing is a bit of a reach here.
He also
from the
dodges
context.
Metalheads when blitzing him, and they are so fast that
dodge Metalheads.
They're even capable of traveling across the entire universe. And finally,
okay, here we go. Jack and Daxter.
Hold on a sec.
Kyle. Where the hell did he go? Alright. Jack and Daxter switch ships, hitching a ride with Kira and the Hellcat. She's changed weapons over to a light equal cannon that emits an infinite ray of light. With it, you must now finish.
Alright, so what he's going to assert here is that Light Eco and anyone who scales to Light Jack, infinite speed because infinite ray of light. Problem is, that's in reference to a power source of the light being infinite, not that the speed itself of the light is infinite.
Okay, so hang on. That emits an infinite ray of light. So this is
that's like me saying, look at this waterfall. Like it's not 1-to-1, but it basically gets the point across. It's like saying, look at this waterfall. It's spewing out an infinite amount of water. The water is not infinite in speed. It's just spewing an endless amount of water.
I was going to say, specifically regarding this, is that technically, while you could argue that this is an infinite ray of light and like it goes on infinitely, the problem is that you would attribute that to base Light Eco, because this is a weapon created to use Light Eco. So
would they? Ugh, gross! I hate that mix. It wouldn't even matter because you even know in the context that this is saying about it, it's basically saying that when it's fired, it basically lasts forever. It's not saying that speed is infinite. It's saying that its power source can go forever.
Emits an infinite. Yeah, so I mean that's a fair argument because the problem doesn't say it's an infinite distance or emits a ray of light over an infinite distance. So you can just argue that an infinite ray of light just means a never-ending beam of light, and you can argue never-ending either means that it just won't stop or that something akin to that. But the problem is that I mean that's fair. That being said, this is probably the best evidence he's presented for this position, though. The other two are not infinite speed in any capacity. This at least is something that you could argue for infinite speed if you want to take it to its highest conclusion.
Light and dark eco scales to all of his physical stats.
Whoa! When did dark eco get involved with this? Hang on.
And finally, light and dark eco scales to all of his physical stats and his abilities. We see that light eco in the guides is infinitely fast. Jack becomes even faster, entering a higher speed tier known as inaccessible speed, which scales above infinite.
Okay, Jack's exposed to pure light eco. Oh, this is some nice artwork. Jack is exposed to pure light eco, begins an evolution that even his closest friends did not anticipate. Unfortunately, his transformation also awakens something ancient deep within the earth and now threatens the planet with oblivion. With Jack's new form, save or destroy the world. Flash freeze. Jack can freeze enemies in their tracks, making them helpless to his attacks.
You don't have to read the field. The one he's arguing for is flash freeze, and he's going to argue that Jack gets inaccessible speed because he can move within. He's going to claim it's stop time. It's not the game, and the showings in the game show that it's slowed time. It's not even stopped.
In the game, the enemies are not stopped, or they might be, but it's slowed.
They are and they're not, because there's also a section in the tutorial bit for flash freeze where the blades are still moving.
Well, so the problem is, I remember the platforms are supposed to be slowed down. They're not stopped.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Slowed down, but regardless of this, even if Jack stopped time, you now have to deal with the problem that if you stop time, that doesn't grant you inaccessible speed. If you've got time resistance, that doesn't give you inaccessible speed. Because if you go down that route, then a good amount of JoJo fucking has inaccessible speed. And even I love JoJo, but even I'm not going to fucking go that route.
So my position here is simply that you don't assert when someone has the ability to stop time that they themselves would scale to a speed tier that would be granted by moving in no time or in frozen time. Because it's one thing if it's one thing if you can move in a place with no time or a frozen time. It's another thing if you're causing that time stop. We never assume someone who creates a time stop is moving at combat, the applicable inaccessible speeds. It would just be they have the ability to stop time and they can move within that stop time.
Well, let me give you a good example of this. A good example of this for how someone does get inaccessible speed is Adam from Wreck of the Ragnarok. Adam can react to the fist that surpasses time, and we know that the fist that surpasses time literally does stop time. While we wouldn't attribute that to Zeus, we would give that to Adam, but again, Zeus via virtuous scaling, but yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, so unfortunately, if this is not a good position to take, unless you can prove otherwise that he has to not only that the time affects himself and he can still move in it, which would be weird, but it's possible.
Infinite speed. Inaccessible speed is no longer abiding by the rules of the temporal speed equation because time is no longer a factor. We see this with Light Jack where
infinite speed basically already kind of breaks the speed formula. Like they both.
It's kind of where Mangler kind of has. So he's more accepting of it now, more because it's just easier than arguing with people. But this is where Mangler gets real. He'll have a problem when somebody tries to say that something is infinite speed or inaccessible because Mingler is kind of right here where he's inaccessible and infinite are not different enough where there's two separate tiers.
Yeah, it's a bit weird position, but infinite already breaks the speed formula. I guess he does say the temporal formula, so it breaks the time portion. But it's the same thing, but that's fine.
He is able to move even when time has completely stopped. We also see he's able to move in alternate dimensions made up of dark eco, where space and time isn't present, just dark eco. We also had seen...
Pause it. That is what he uses. Do you see what I meant when I said last night? Assert something. No fucking
dark eco.
Where space I gotta be honest here. In case you're not watching this Roaring Thunder Pursuit, is there a scan to assert that there's only dark eco, or is this in a? Because this just feels like a straight up assumption, and that's kind of weird. Also,
time isn't present.
Is this the dark eco world he's in? Like this area where the ship's at?
Yes. Well, I haven't gone through the guidebook for the Lost Frontier, but you can go into there during one of the dogfights.
Okay, is there anything special about the ship?
No.
Is it? It's not amped by eco, right? Because the whole point of the story is eco's running out, right?
It is fueled by eco. Everything is fueled by eco.
I mean, like it's not amped by like light eco or something, right? Or
no.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch there.
Very generic form of eco. It might be green. I don't particularly know. Actually, I think when at the start of the game, when one of the ship's thrusters or engines has been destroyed, I think it does leak green eco. I could be remembering that wrong, but I know it does leak eco.
Okay, yeah, that seems kind of weird.
Isn't
unless you're going to assert now that all these. Also, if there's no space and time and only dark eco, how can you move in it? Because these dark eco balls are physical objects, right? Like they will damage you.
We also had seen Jack move.
He says there's no space or time, but there seems to be quite a lot of space to maneuver in.
Yeah, I gotta say, this one feels really, unless there's evidence or some statements in the guidebook, this one feels like a massive stretch in comparison to everything we've seen so far.
We also had seen Jack move inside the time rift that had opened in Jack 2, where Core entered through. Core also has inaccessible speed, and Jack scales above him. If we re-look...
That's the same problem we have with Bayonetta.
So he's going through a portal. Well, okay, so this was a little weird, because I don't remember how the Metalhead guy... Because there's a portal at the Metalhead base, right? That's where you find the portal to send Jack back at the end of 2?
Yes, so basically what happens at the start of Jack 2, they activate the time machine. It pretty much logs in the coordinates from the time rings, or the precursor rings, and then Core comes through. Which is why I assert earlier, like, the metalheads could literally just come through via fucking portals. We don't know how they actually get to the planet. But even in this case, it's not great evidence for speed.
So the problem is that when you're moving through a portal through time, this is how you kind of have to start, like, how do you take time travel rules a little bit into this one, because the problem is that all we know is you go through a portal, and then come out the other end. There is a moment here you can move within it, but it's kind of like, how do you want to take, moving in between portals? This one's a little weird.
Well, we know that once they get separated, they get launched in different parts of time, because we know that Kira and Samos have been there longer than Jack and Daxter, because Jack and Daxter arrived there at roughly the same time.
That is true. Well, no, hang on. Are you sure that they just appear at the same point? Because the problem is that he's been trapped in prison for 2 years. So, like, they could have had plenty of time to set up
Okay. Well, here's the problem. The problem with asserting this is that if you're going back in time, like, again, it's really weird, especially if you're trying to be really scientifically accurate. They should, if they were all in the same time and place, they should have came out in the same portal as Jack and Daxter. But the problem is that the Crimson Guard were waiting as if they knew that's where Jack was going to land. And they already talk as if they knew that people like Jack already came from somewhere else.
Yeah, okay, this one's just a bit weird.
Look at Jack in the time rift, we see that he's still able to perceive what's happening around him. This event is known as time dilation, which refers to the seemingly odd fact that time passes at different rates for different observers depending on their relative motion or positions in a tear between realities, giving Jack immeasurable perception. Jack then finally...
Sorry?
Immeasurable perception?
For different observers depending on speed, and Jack scales above him. If we re-look...
Wait. Hang on a minute. Why does the Metalhead leader only get inaccessible speed if going through the time vortex by this man's logic is immeasurable?
Because he comes out of the other side.
Yeah, so by this guy's logic, he literally has to physically move through there. Granted, scaling to the Metalhead leader, I think, is fine across the board. And if you want to say this guy gets it from, like, physically moving through the time stream without the device, I think that's a lot. Again, that's a much better argument than, like, what we started with. So at least...
The problem is that it's still a portal, so there has to be another precursor time ring somewhere for him to have come through, like, prior.
Okay, so if I recall correctly, there is...
I know what you're trying to say, but it still doesn't work one-to-one.
That is true. So the problem is that we know 2 points in time are opened by the portals, and I wish that, you know, if there was more evidence, he would post it from guidebooks or something. But also we know...
Okay, so I will give Roaring Thunder Pursuit this. In his first How Powerful Jack video, he provides 2 pieces of evidence from the Japanese guide that I did not know about, and I thought that was fantastic, and that's the multipliers for blue and red eco. Other than that, it's not even worth your time.
Completely out of nowhere, but okay, well, damn.
You can call it a backhanded compliment on one. I give what props to do.
Yeah, no, so this is a lot better for scaling if you want to make this argument, but without more information, we need to know. So, okay, so 2 points in time open up, and you go through it. So then...
Not necessarily, because there are several series that does stuff like this, and if you're going to attribute this to Jack, there's a lot of verses that are going to get an upgrade if this is how you want to take it.
Well, my question is, like, without more information, we just don't know, because the problem is that you're flying in a direction... I mean, I guess they do fall out of it.
Where Core entered through.
But then you can just be a dick and argue.
Core also has inaccessible speed, and Jack scales above him. If we re-look at
everything like that, or
Jack in the time rift, we...
Cutting out a little bit there.
Oh, sorry. So, even if you want to go that route and say that he's still physically traveling in that direction, well, even though the machine has been destroyed, he's just like when a car crashes and you're thrown out of the car, you're still being carried by the force of the inertia.
No. So the problem is that, like, my question is, so I'm just confused why the Metalhead leader doesn't get a measurable speed off this logic. Because if he's gonna argue that going through the portal is a measurable speed, why does the Metalhead leader only get inaccessible? That's why I'm so confused.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The immeasurable speed, it's kind of weird
that he's still able to perceive what's happening around him. This event is known as time dilation, which refers to the seemingly odd fact that time passes at different rates for different observers depending on their relative motion or position.
Also, isn't this whole point that time's, like, you're arguing for speeds beyond time at this point? Like, when you start going inaccessible, is time dilation even applicable and inaccessible?
Not really.
I was going to say, this where it gets a little complicated, because you're arguing for speeds way above time. Like, obviously, I understand what he's going for, that, like, okay, well, Jack can perceive it, so therefore he can perceive speeds at that movement.
And a tear between realities, giving Jack immeasurable perception.
Also, a tear between realities. Is time dilation, like, a real thing? Because, like, I don't think we have proof of other realities or anything, right? In science? I feel like we're getting some leaps in...
No, the only version of time dilation that I'm aware of is... whether or not you're in, like, a faster vehicle, like a jet.
Yeah, I remember this now. Yes, time dilation. I think the experiment... Well, here, let me check just to make sure. Time dilation is the experiment where they put a clock on a jet, and when the jet went around... Yeah, in physics and relativity, time dilation is the difference in the elapsed time as measured by 2 clocks. Is either due to the relative velocity between them or the difference in gravitational potential between their locations. Yeah, I don't really... I mean, like, I get what he's saying, but I don't think time dilation is the right way to put it when you're arguing for speeds way beyond time itself. Still, again, I feel like there's an assertion to be made. There's definitely an assertion to be made here, but if you're arguing for measurable perception...
Granted, we made it further than where I ended up last night.
Yeah, but we're also 25 minutes into the video.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. You better apologize to Mangler later, because at this rate we're gonna be here for another fucking hour. All right, let's see before we can get through before things go south again. But this one,
yeah, let's see if we can get through this like relatively quickly, because I've got Shadow of Mordor to play, and people are gonna wonder why we're streaming late.
Okay, so I'll just say this. Of all the evidence you presented, Rolling Thunder Pursuit, I think this is the best one you have, but I still think this one might be a bit of a reach, given that you kind of have to explain how the portals don't just make this possible on their own, since they're opening the pathway themselves.
Jack then finally peaks at having immeasurable speed, in which he scales above the precursors who predate time, space, and dimensions.
Okay, why is he show Mira?
Let me see. Dark Eagle's giving the sister the body of a young woman, but her heart remains that of a twisted old woman hidden beneath. She and her brother, the corrupted sage of the earth, are hell-bent on opening large underground stores of Dark Eagle left in the earth from the days of creation. Although her brother's knowledge of Dark Eagle is instrumental in their plans, is the evil sister Dark Sorcery that creates the army of one-hit enemies. Okay. Is great, and her eyes are yellow by years of using Dark Eco and her sorcery and to maintain her perpetual youth. Armor fashioned from strips of precursor metal. These sheets not only provide protection, but their incredible density also keeps the Dark Eco from escaping her body. That's helping Dark Eco not escape her body. Okay.
The problem.
There's a lot. We're just gonna move on that one. The evil sister has been known to dance herself into a vision-inducing trance, and then in a voice that is not her own to scream prophecies and predict the future. Okay, so I guess his argument, days of creation.
I know what he's arguing there, but here's the problem. Through the context of the series, especially in Jack 3, that's just the creation of... That's just literally them filling up the planet. They don't even make planets. They literally just... shit.
According to this one, they do use to create their world and all their planets.
And if you actually go down to the arm rocket, it actually says like a little bit different.
Hang on. Precursors, robots are most often found their default made creation. Owls hidden in their lower arms. Utility. Hang on. The right arm houses a large eco capable of shooting out large, massive eco. These balls were the basic building blocks used to build hills and valleys, continents, and oceans.
See, that's kind of the problem here. And we kind of need a little bit more to assert that they just make the planets, and again, we have the problem where it's just like, what's the time frame?
Okay, regardless.
What's the time frame? But the problem with this one is asserting that the precursors predate time. You have no evidence for that, and the stuff in the scan from Mira can literally just mean when Dark Eco came to the planet.
Yeah, so the problem is that the Dark Eco was left behind from the days of creation, but that would most likely be a reference to the planet, given that the other statement is that they create planets. Unless, just to be clear, I didn't miss a universal thing. Barren rocks and life-sustaining planets. Oh, wait. Yeah, they use giant rocks to shape barren rocks and life-sustaining planets. So yeah, they don't even create the planets according to this. They just turn like asteroids and shit into planets.
Told you.
Used to create their world. In fact, all our planets created their world. All right. Well, yeah. This is a big.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, God, no, Jack and Daxter. No, it hasn't been like he's gone through the series for the last 20 years. No, it's all right.
No, full of shit. This man's full of shit. Always has been.
All right. Oh no, he hasn't been playing these games since he was like fucking 4 years old. No, it's fine.
Nope. Fake news. Alright, let's move on.
Creation, and is what's used to power all of creation. So the speed in which the precursors used eco to form creation would be immeasurable, which scale.
Okay.
Are your arms a-roaring from the pursuit? Because damn, you should really like be careful with all that stretching. You could hurt yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna scale them to the metalheads, okay, I still don't understand why metalhead leaders get immeasurable speed. What the fuck?
Yeah, stop trying to play both fences and actually say what you actually want to say.
Yeah, this one's not universe, man. This one's clearly planets. Because again, in the same guidebook she comes from, because I bet that's where the precursor robot comes from. It's clear they only create planets at best, and that's like unfortunately not multi-con, which is bullshit. Fuck you, guys.
This would be from Jack and Daxter 1, because there would be no other reason for why Mira would appear in 2 or 3.
Well, no, I mean the precursor robot is from Jack and Daxter 1 as well, most likely, because it looks like a similar guidebook, and also, as far as I know, the robot's not really...
It'd probably be from Jack and Daxter, like, 1's guidebook.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the same design as the one in 3.
Alright, let us continue forward.
Scales above inaccessible. In regards to Jack's power, we see that Samos and the other sages can easily destroy planets.
Zoom in.
Hang on. Okay. Logs act as a buffer between skin and ground. Feet are never allowed to corrupt the earth. What?
I'm not seeing the busting.
Hang on. Let me read the entire thing.
Okay, so here's the problem, is that this could literally just mean the ground, because the entire fucking...
I can't zoom in.
...paragraph is fucking capitalized.
Hang on, I need to... Okay, logs... Logs act as a buffer between skin and ground. Feet are never allowed to corrupt the earth. That doesn't say bust the earth, man. That's a bit of a reach there.
And if you're trying to say that he can corrupt the earth by standing on it, one, you can't assert that it's the actual planet itself because the entire thing's capitalized. That's kind of like one of the shit things here.
No. It's just because every single word. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Every word's capitalized.
But all this means is that Samos only levitates because he doesn't want to touch the ground. Because he doesn't want to taint the ground with his footsteps. That's all that means. What is it with power scalers and taking the highest interpretation they fucking can?
This one is a massive reach. Yeah, I'm sorry, Roaring Thunder Pursuit. This is a massive reach here. Also, fuck me, now that you mention it to me, it bugs the fuck out of me how every word's capitalized.
Yeah, not to derail this, even though it's longer. Do you remember when I was talking to you about the Fist and the North Star stuff and how they say that, like, Ray can cut the Earth, and I literally told you that in the guide, Earth is not capitalized?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is literally one of the reasons why you need to pay attention to how the sentence structure is, like, done.
Fuck you, Kyle.
Casual planet busters should scale anywhere from...
Okay, here.
With some borders on what was supposed to re-kill you.
Being the one person in all land who has developed himself to study Blue Eagle, the Blue Sage has become a master of magnetic motive force. After many years of research, he has come to understand how Blue Eagle was once the lifeblood of many precursor artifacts, but the knowledge of how Blue Eagle was channeled and controlled to turn on the relics is now sadly lost to time. Working to make life better for Rock City, it appears he was nearing a major breakthrough with the invention to float and move matter. Never won aboard, the greatest Red Sage is the hands-down master of explosive Red Eco. Working deep in the remains of an ancient volcano crater, the Red Sage conducts fire experiments on the secrets of how the Red Eco is used by the precursors. The latest theory is that Red Eco, properly employed, may be somehow used to create things, not destroy as conventional wisdom would believe. Fascinated with flying objects since youth, the Yellow Sage has vowed to use the powers of Red Eco to develop the world's biggest projectile machine. Whether used as a weapon or launching device, the knowledge of Yellow Eco as a shooting force is of great importance to the world's future in both peace and war.
Multiplanetary to large planetary.
Jack
also...
Just to be clear, only the Green Sage has anything regarding the Earth, and it's also not staying to blow it up. Just to be clear here.
Also scales above precursor robots who can either create or destroy planets like nothing. Jack absorbs the power of the four sages and the power of the dark...
Okay, just to give him one last benefit of the doubt...
But it's not the power of the four sages, by the way. It's literally all of the ecos mixing together to make white eco. Yes, white and... I haven't gone through the guidebook, but I'm pretty sure white and light are different things. Light eco is its own source. White eco is the combination of the four elemental ecos coming together.
I think it is because this mentions light eco as what powers the robots. Okay, powered by light eco hearts to shape barren rocks into life-sustaining planets.
Yeah, that's wrong, even by his own scan that he provides.
Were the bulldozers used to create their world? All other planets are cursor created in the robots and... Yeah, I'm sorry, this is wrong by his own evidence.
robots who can either create or destroy planets like nothing. Jack absorbs the power of the four sages and the...
nothing. I'm sorry. What is this assertion bullshit? I would love if a Jack fan tried to use this as their evidence, and I just fucking bent them over.
Kyle, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with this video and all this reaching? My arms hurt from all this reaching.
Yeah, this is starting... again, so far, the only thing that hasn't been just either completely like wrong or super without stretching has just been, ironically enough, the highest speeds going he's given.
Power of the dark eco from within the silo, which slightly scales above the power of the four sages and enhances all of these different energy sources to its utmost limit, which should scale him to the star level ranges.
What the Wait. Precursors created the universe according to this guy, but white eco, which is the power of all these things, isn't... okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but we'll just keep moving forward for now. If anyone watches this and they can explain it, maybe I'm misunderstanding, feel free to.
We also see that Core had absorbed count...
Go ahead.
How the fuck did he get star level?
I have no clue. Okay, I can't even read that one.
Countless precursor stones throughout innumerable timelines, for he states he will finally consume the last precursor stone. That's wild because according to Samos, the power ignited from the stone will not...
Okay, hang on.
...level ranges. We also see that...
I want to see how he gets fucking star level.
Oh, okay. Let me put this on here.
Destroy. These casual planet busters should scale anywhere from multi-planetary to large planetary. Jack also scales above precursor robots who can either create or destroy planets like nothing. Jack absorbs the power of the four sages and the power of the dark eco from within the silo, which slightly scales above the power of the four sages and enhances all of these different energy sources to its utmost limit, which should scale him to the star level ranges.
As far as I'm aware, 4 times planetary is not star level, and the way he did that scaling chain, I might have misheard, but that sounds a little bit circular.
Okay, so Planet Buster Sage absorbs the power of all the Planet Busters, and then absorbs the power of the Dark Eco. Kyle, does he absorb the Dark Eco within the actual vats? Because I see a lot of Dark Eco in the background. He said that he absorbed the Dark Eco.
He doesn't get Dark Eco until Baron Praxis captures him part of Jack 2 and uses him for experiments throughout the 2-year time span that Daxter's like, I don't know, being a fucking bug exterminator. I still can't believe we need to fucking play that game once I have a good fucking laptop to play it.
Okay.
Absorbs the power of the four sages and the power of the dark eco from within the silo.
Yeah, he said...
No, he doesn't! No, he doesn't!
Okay, yeah, I don't remember him absorbing Dark Eco. In fact, I recall that was specifically a big importance to his character in Jack 2 and 3, that he even has Dark Eco.
Because it corrupts his being, and he needs light eco to balance it out.
Which slightly scales above the power of the four sages.
Also, wouldn't the Dark Eco scale way higher than the four sages? Weren't they worried about the Dark Eco destroying everything? I could be wrong on that one. It's been a while since I've seen Jack 1, because you played it like 7 months ago?
Yeah, well, the Eco Sages don't like the fact that Goal and Mirror are fucking with Dark Eco, specifically because Dark Eco literally can corrupt you.
Yeah, that sounds a little weird. Well, I mean, actually, that's what I think might be flat out wrong regarding Dark Eco here.
And enhances all of these different energy sources to its utmost limit, which should scale him to the star level ranges.
Also, I had to ask the question, so then, are you saying that the robot's star level? Because the robot's body is still more or less intact. It's just, well, I guess some of it got blown away, but like it got, I mean, as far as we know...
The four sages, and enhances all of these...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it did blow up, I think that's fair. But, I mean, that's still
different
star
energy sources to its utmost limit.
It blew up, but it's not fucking star level.
Him to the star level.
I mean, like, it wasn't like obliterated, it was just kind of like broken apart.
Yeah.
We also see that Core had absorbed countless precursor stones throughout innumerable timelines, for he states he will finally consume the last precursor stone.
Stop.
Timelines? The hell?
And all timelines. That's not That's not how the story of Jack 2's story literally shows that it's a circular timeline.
He covered his tracks well through time, hiding his last egg from me, and building the shield and city to defend it. If he does, the energy release will be beyond comprehension. It will destroy the world and more, ending all life. The planet is crying out for protection. You must stop Baron Praxis.
So the way Jack 2 works is it's a closed timeline. The way it works, Jack as a child loses his memories when he goes back to the past. He's raised by Samos. They come back to the future where after they release Core. Where Core came from, who the fuck knows? They didn't really cover that in any of the fucking games.
Maybe it's in the guidebook.
If it was, I doubt he would hesitate to show it. But I'll probably go for him later.
Fuck, I can't read that scan in the middle. What the fuck?
He beats the shit out of Core, kills Core, and then sends his past self back. It's a closed timeline. It's not multiple timelines.
Okay. I think what he's trying to say is that, it's a closed timeline. I'm not seeing evidence for a multiverse here. However, the scan in the middle is just talking about how dangerous the actual Precursor Stone is, releasing incomprehensible energy.
That's wild because according to Samos, the power ignited from the stone will not only destroy the planet, but the destructive power will be incomprehensible and wiping out all life, which should include the solar system because the sun has traces.
This has nothing to do with scaling or what he's saying, but I know he's on the PS4 version because it has that bullshit effect. You remember how much trouble that fucking gave me?
Yeah, you fucking dumbass! You never didn't even try jumping.
And wiping out all life, which
does it bring you back some flashbacks, Kyle? Is that why you brought it up?
System.
Look at it.
Because the sun has traces of elements to the atomic
flashbacks
level of the planet Jack resides on. That's
hang on. What the atomic level? What the fuck? Hang on, let me see this.
To the atomic level of the planet, traces of elements to the atomic level of the planet Jack resides on. Life, which should include the solar system, because the sun has traces of elements.
Go further back. Apparently, we were talking way too much shit.
That's
and I didn't
wild.
Listen.
Okay.
Because according to Samos, the power ignited from the stone will not only destroy the planet, but the destructive power will be incomprehensible and wiping out all life, which should include the solar system, because the sun has traces of elements.
Hang on. Let him finish. Let him finish.
No,
the atomic level.
I don't have to. All of the statements about the stone are literally planetary.
So to be fair regarding that one, there is a statement in the guidebook here that says that the energy release will be beyond comprehension.
Yes, all life, but then with the preponderance of evidence that's provided by the game itself, it literally just means all life on the planet, and it's literally stated planet multiple times.
No. Like there's the guidebook statement says that the explosion. Or here, let me read this. If he succeeds, the energy release will be beyond comprehension.
Yeah, beyond comprehension of what anyone can expect, which can still mean planetary.
Bruh. I'm just not sure where we're getting solar system from. I thought we argued the precursors created the universe. Like I'm not. Didn't he say that earlier? I could be wrong on that one. I could be misrepresenting him. We're 43 minutes in. 5-minute video, and Kyle was like, "Oh, this will be an easy 20-minute banger. Oh yeah, easy 20-minute fucking banger."
The planet.
This is long. Imagine when we do the fucking Ratchet and Clank one. God. Fuck me.
I'm not gonna let you do repeat points. Fuck
But
me.
The destructive power will be incomprehensible and wiping out all life, which should include the solar system, because the sun has traces of elements to the atomic level of the planet Jack resides on. That's not.
Okay, so I'm not really seeing what that means. All life, though. Like, am I the one confused?
Oh, I love all the reaching. I love when there's no evidence.
I gotta be honest, this is a pretty massive fucking reach here regarding the sun.
To say that.
Also, you already argued him for star level already. Like, what did the precursors? What?
Motherfucker, change your name to Halo. Because people fucking love Reach. Don't laugh at that. That's a joke.
I love I have a fondness for just like punny jokes. You should have been there when I was doing an all night stream and we had a guy doing dad jokes all night on Minecraft. It was great. Hang on.
The sun is alive, but it is what's used to sustain life on his planet. So how many precursor stones had Core consumed?
I don't understand. You're already arguing their star level. Why are we arguing the precursor stone, which is incomprehensible? Okay, so that's where I'm confused. If the power of the precursor stone is incomprehensible, why?
No, I know what he's arguing. He's trying to argue that if Core has eaten all the precursor stones, therefore he should be multiplanetary. Here's the problem. Yes, he's eaten all the stones, but we don't have a statement saying that anything the metalheads consume adds onto their strength.
No, you misunderstand my position here. He argues that the four sources, the four sages, and the Dark Eagle and the Well combined are at least star level. So why the fuck is the precursor stone, which is incomprehensible, only solar system?
No. I know what I have a feeling I know where he's going with the point, and that's what I stated before. He's gonna try and argue that Core has eaten an innumerable amount of precursor stones, and he's gonna try and say that these all stack onto his power.
No. I know that's what he's gonna say. My problem is, why are they star level? If Jack and Jack 1 at the end is power he can comprehend, which is star level by this man's logic, why are the precursor stones only star level to solar system? They should be stronger.
No, stop. You're hung up on the one stone. His argument is going to be the accumulation of all of the other numerous stones.
I understand that, Kyle. What I'm not understanding is why this man has scaling chains that don't make sense by his own logic. The precursor stone should be way stronger than solar system if star level's comprehensible. If a star blows up, it blows up practically half our solar system. You really think fucking the whole solar system is incomprehensible at that level of power? The precursor stone should be like galaxy, the fucking universal level by this man's logic.
We know the
That's my issue here! Not where the fucking stone's gonna go!
Heads and the precursors were battling each other for eons, which means billions upon billions of years. So
does he also
you mean those billions of years where they could have traveled to the other planets and cultivated them? Jeez.
Eon time.
Eon.
Yeah, okay.
Eon is 1,000,000 years.
No, I just looked it up. An eon is 1,000,000,000 years. I thought it was 1,000,000.
Oh, 1,000,000,000. I thought it was 1,000,000.
Yeah, no, that's why I want to check on that one.
So he spent that amount of time traveling back in time to alternate universes consuming.
Whoa there, buckaroo! Where's that alternate universe coming from?
Okay, I think I know what he's going to try and argue for here, but the problem is that we don't have any evidence that Jack works on a multiversal system. We know that it works on a closed loop system.
Yeah, this is weird.
Because if it was a multiversal system, every time he goes back, it shouldn't have to follow exactly what he does before. It can be slightly different, but it's not.
Yeah.
Exact each time, and Samos makes that point. Even young Samos is like, oh, I did this before. I have to go with him, don't I?
Yeah. I remember this.
Consuming an innumerable amount of precursor stones. This puts Core from anywhere being Galaxy Plus to multi-galaxy level. In Jack 3, the precursors give Jack a massive power amp, overflowing him with so much power that it is incomprehensible, and that it can only truly be understood in one's dreams.
Bruh, just clip that, and you can literally just say this for the video.
Only incomprehensible.
It's incomprehensible and only in someone's dreams.
Oh, that's... yeah. The fact that you can dream it means you can comprehend it.
With so much power that it is
Oh, so that's not what it says. It says, I give you a new light power, one which will help you reach new places.
Incomprehensible. And that it can only truly be understood.
Yeah, you want to pause that? Do you want to know... I know that cutscene. Do you want to know what that's in reference to? When he gets the fucking wings that allows him to jump and glide to different areas.
Hang on, Kyle, Mom came in real quickly. Entertain them for a few seconds.
entertain them. Okay, so basically the tutorial section that this is in reference to, you basically have to go like right of the platform after you get the power up, and it's basically a jumping tutorial showing you that you can glide and jump further than usual. That's all that means by you can attain new heights. It's not a level of power. That's like false. Zim, come back, otherwise I'm gonna like
I'm here. I'm here. I told her to come back in like 30 minutes.
Stood in one's dreams. This is wild considering the fact that Mar, the original Jack, utilized Eco for shields, weaponry...
Okay, pause that. Pause. He's asserting that Jack is Mar. That is Jack's original name, yes, when his father, Deimos, gave it to him. But to assert that Jack is Mar himself is a theory and not confirmed.
Yeah, this is where it gets kind of fucked. I think I was talking to Kyle about this. I think we were talking about it during the Jack 3 stream when we were like, it's clear that he's meant to be Mar. It's clear he's supposed to be the original Mar, but they never confirm it in any of the games, which I find really ridiculous. But it is what it is. Technically, that is a reach.
The original Jack utilized Eco for shields, weaponry, teleportation, and time travel into alternate realities. But
okay, wouldn't it just be dimensional travel? Why do you keep saying time travel and alternate realities like these go synonymously with each other?
I'll be back in give me literally 10 seconds.
All right. Yeah, no, so don't get me wrong, I subscribe to the idea that Jack is Mar. I think that makes the most sense. It's clear for what the story's going for, but it's not confirmed.
Teleportation and time travel into alternate realities. Right. But even he would not be able to comprehend Jack's newly found power.
But he... What? Hang on.
Eco for shields, weaponry. Jack utilized Eco for shields, weaponry, teleportation, and time travel into alternate realities. But even...
Stop. He does not teleport with Eco. You can teleport with... No. I don't think at any point he actually ever teleports. I think the only... No, there is one time, and that's getting onto the Darkmaker's ship.
Yeah, that's a rare...
That's not an Eco power that Jack possesses.
Well, he's saying Mar possesses it, not Jack. But he's saying that Jack's powers are greater than Mar's.
No, he's claiming that Mar is Jack.
Yes, no. So his
virtue is saying that Jack should have teleportation.
No. So hang on. Okay, keep listening because you'll see what he's trying to say.
Alternate realities, but even he would not be able to comprehend Jack's newly found power.
So his argument is that the flying power from Light Jack, or I guess the whole Light Eco power, is so incomprehensible to Mar, and Mar could do all this crazy shit that Jack should be able to do it with Light Eco or something greater.
No, because if he already states that he believes that Jack is Mar, then he's trying to say that he can't comprehend himself.
I guess he's arguing the different Jacks would have different abilities.
But they're the same If you believe he's Mar, then he's the same fucking Jack. No, this doesn't work.
Jack also scales above the Precursor's ability to grant the power of evolution itself. Evolution in a power scaling sense for Jack.
Wait, buddy, you don't want to make this, buddy.
The sense is a bit, how's your father? Because poor Vega gets turned into a fucking weasel. So by evolution, by their standards, it's just transmutation into their species. That does not mean you get granted extra power.
We grant you the gift of evolution, the honor of becoming one of us.
In itself, evolution in a power
transmutation, becoming an Otzel.
Hang on. Let's see what he has.
Scaling sense for Jack is causality.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You'll never proof me and Jack experience Requiem over here.
Hang on. I want to take a look at this. I want to hear what he says before I give any comments.
Causality is the science of cause and effect. things influence other things. That's a basic statement for any dynamic universe where things change, and things would be very dull if it weren't the case. Not that we'd exist to know about it without a cause. This puts Jack at Universal Plus. Things heat up with...
What? Nani? I'm sorry, what?
I forgot this is meant to be an AP video. Oh, what the heck? Get off my screen.
Heat, who was so powerful,
get off my screen, news. No, the news popped up. How do I get rid of this? Hang on, get off.
Just that fucking jump out of nowhere. Okay, like, I know you give me shit for where I put Alex Mercer, but come on, at least, please tell me my scaling didn't feel like that.
No, because the problem is that in complete context, the precursors are... Also, that would imply the precursors are beyond cause and effect. But the problem is that they're not. Because Daxter is a fucking precursor! Or are we going to ignore what happens to this guy afterwards?
And things would be very dull if it weren't the case. Not that we'd exist to know about it without a cause. This puts Jack at Universal Plus. Things heat up with Skyheat, who was so powerful he manifested and weaponized alternate dimensions.
Bullshit.
Hang on. Next time Phoenix brings out a shield, the massive crystal raises from the beam its backhead. Shoot all weaponry as usual. Only this time the crystal fires large dark orbs that follow your aircraft. If touched by one of these, you'll be drawn to an alternate dimension full of solid orbs. Navigate between the orbs while taking as little damage as possible.
Dimensions, which are described as
you got BFR.
Universes
and that's only
with
for Jack.
Yeah, that's BFR.
Just a portion of the Eco Core's power. Jack scales above him as well.
Also, we don't have a side. Hang on. Okay.
Wait, is he trying to assert that Skyheat creates the Dark Eco universe?
No, he's trying to say that Skyheat here creates alternate dimensions.
No, he's trying to assert that he made the Dark Eco universe that he gets BFR'd to. You know, there is a reality where he could just send you to a reality that already pre-exists. That's the point of BFR.
Hang on.
He manifested and
you don't want to fight somewhere else that's more dangerous.
He manifested and weaponized
alternate dimension.
Like this isn't like a knock on Saint Seiya, but this is like saying either Canon or Saga creates the alternate dimension they send people to when they use the golden triangle or another dimension.
Also, regarding alternate dimension here, okay, and weaponized alternate dimensions,
which are described as universes with just a portion.
That is wrong. They are not described as universes. You are taking a dictionary definition from the freedictionary.com and saying a universe in a work of fiction that exists alongside another universe in the same work of series of works. With each universe having... Okay, so the problem is that it's not described as a universe. You are asserting it's a universe based on its phrase being called an alternate dimension.
Even if it was, it could still BFR.
So he's arguing he weaponized them, but the orbs are most likely BFR. This is most likely BFR here. You'd have to prove he's creating it. Because you're being touched by a crystal... No, you're being touched by a dark orb that follows your aircraft, and if you're touched by it, you're sucked into this world. So this can still be BFR. Weaponizing this dimension does not give you AP scaling of any kind.
Portion of the Eco Core's power. Jack scales above him as well. Finally, we see...
Would Jack actually scale above this guy or this weapon in general? Or is it just being in a fight?
So at the end of the Lost Frontier, he scales 2 vaguely.
Okay.
Jack is hyperversal, given the...
Whoa there, buckaroo!
I would love to see where he puts Kratos.
Large statues left behind by the ancient race of deities known as the Precursor still contains the powers of the old gods. Due to Jack's special relationship with Eco, these statues rarely absorb power.
Fact that he obtained powers from the Elder Gods and scale massively above the precursors that formed all of creation.
Oh!
What?
He has no... He's asserting something without evidence, and then he's trying to say that the precursors are Elder Gods. Fine, whatever. The precursors can grant powers. That's been shown since...
No, he's not. He's arguing these old gods predate the precursors.
They're fucking precursor technology!
What are these statues in Jak and Daxter, Kyle? I don't remember what these statues were. Wait. No. By the ancient race of deities known as the precursors, still contain the powers of the old gods. No, yeah, it's about the precursor.
Of the precursors.
Okay, stop. So I can like flex on my knowledge of like 20 years of Jak and Daxter. In the first game, the precursor robot heads literally give you power cores when you have enough precursor orbs to give to them, because that entire game is full of extortion. Because fuck you. Jak and Daxter 1 sucks. Fucking fight me. And then in Jak and Daxter 2, one of them is actually useful because he grants you dark eco powers, which goes against Jak 3, which again is just something else that gets retconned because that would make the precursor head a dark.
Why are we getting hyperversal though?
Remind me, isn't hyperversal like 18-dimensional or something?
I think so.
He obtained powers from the Elder Gods and scale massively above the precursor.
Massively above the precursor? These statues still contain the powers of the old gods. Why would they? Let's assume by his logic he's correct and that there were gods before the precursors. These statues still have their powers. Why would they scale so massively above the precursors?
That formed all of creation. Creation contains infinite universes and timelines bundled together in a multiverse, and the hyperverse, which is defined as a reality.
He's almost done.
Verses and timelines bundled together in a multiverse, and the hyperverse, which is defined as a reality of a higher dimensional order than our own.
Stop. Why stop here? Just go to Outerversal, son. While you're at it, just fucking go to Outerversal.
This needs a lot more evidence.
It's not even a joke. If you're gonna go by this logic, fucking jump to Outerversal, son. Don't stop.
I will say, wholesale, he needs a lot more evidence for a lot of these claims he's making, especially since he hasn't proven that there's even a hyperverse to begin with. Because you can still... Let's assume this multiverse is correct. You can still assume that they'd be way stronger than the precursors without being, 5D. So that's entirely possible.
The motherfucker hasn't even proven that they're overplanetary.
Reverse differentiates concepts of this nature from the standard or complex multiverse definitions, and all of this is bound within creation that the precursors had formed and continue to power.
Okay, you haven't proved there's a real multiverse, but even if you did, that does not prove there's a hyperverse within this multiverse. And also, hyperverse, I think Mangler pointed this out, is technically just like a science fiction, sci-fi word. It's not really an actual scientific term as far as I remember.
Reality of a higher dimensional order.
So all a hyperverse is literally just a universe that has 3 spatial dimensions and 1 temporal dimension. It's just the universe.
Let me check. Hyperverse. All that pops up is crypto for me. Alright, we'll worry about this later.
In our own. The hyperverse differentiates concepts of this nature
that has
from
3 spatial and 1 temporal. So literally just our universe.
Yeah, this is kind of whack, man.
Complex multiverse definitions, and all of this is bound within creation.
Stop. If this is where he scales Jak, I want this motherfucker to basically make Ratchet Outerversal, because Ratchet has all of this same shit, except it's more blatant and better in every way, shape, and form. Fight me, Roaring Thunder Pursuit. Let's do Jak and Daxter vs. Ratchet and Clank. Let's go, son.
Why are you like this?
The precursors had formed and continued to power with Eco. So with all that being said, Jak scales to hyperversal with immeasurable speed. But can he beat Goku, though? Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed.
Okay, okay. So the editing was good in the video. That joke at the end was a little bit funny. That being said,
I wouldn't be able to edit like that. That's not a joke. I would love to learn how to edit like that.
Yeah, his editing's really nice. That being said, though, as weird as this is, I think his best argument was for the immeasurable speed in this entire video, and that was the only argument I thought had a decent argument behind it.
Let me offer an olive branch. This is serious. Roaring Thunder Pursuit. You teach me how to edit like you do, and I'll teach you how to scale.
God, you are not a neutral party member at all, are you? Fuck me.
I worked in the sun all day. I am fucking mad.
All right. Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Roaring Thunder Pursuit's 5-minute video that we stretched out into an hour and 4 minutes worth of content.
Yeah, come back for when we go over Ratchet and Clank vs. Jak and Daxter, his debunk video, because he is not kind to Ratchet, even though if I went... I haven't even seen his video yet, but man, I bet you he fucking downplays the shit out of Ratchet.
I have to be honest here. I at least know Ratchet has a lot more like blatant statements from what you've shown me. So if he actually downplays... His argument has to be that Jak just scales higher. If his argument is that there's no evidence of a hyperverse in Ratchet and Clank, I'm going to be laughing my ass off.
No, if he says that Ratchet and Clank isn't even like infinite in speed, it's like, motherfucker, he has a stronger argument in A Crack in Time. He can literally move in places where time literally repeats itself and stops.
All right.
Without on his back.
So we'll take a look at that when that drops, when that comes out. But that being said, though, Roaring Thunder Pursuit, you know...
really do it at any point, just not today, because we are late for streaming.
Yes, we are. So, that being said, thank you for your time as always. Have a nice day. Roaring Thunder Pursuit, the video overall was nice. I definitely have some disagreements with your scaling. I feel like there's a lot of reaching going on here. There needs to be more evidence, especially in a short 5-minute video like this. You put scans in for a lot of things. I think those scans don't say what you're saying they say, but even then, like, there were some points where there was no scans whatsoever for some of your claims. That needs to be corrected if possible, or fixed, you know, just for general reference point. I'll probably give your 30-minute video a watch to see if that evidence is there, but like, yeah, there needs to be more evidence here for a lot of these claims. So yeah.
Okay, let me be positive here. You had good editing, but my dude, there is over 1 million sharks in the ocean, and you jumped over all of them.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next streamer video.